welcome back to Less Lethal Contingencies. Alan here. All right, so today we're gonna be doing some more shooting with the Pistelle X-68. Okay, we are going to be testing out a few different things, doing some comparison testing. I'm going to be testing the Pistelle X-68 with the 4.5 686 aluminum barrel, threaded aluminum barrel, and I'm going to be testing it with the Home Defense 24 Long ASA, tuning ASA, which is a version, a V2, version 2. It's got the smaller holes in the back and the beefed up spring. Okay, I'm going to be testing that out, and we're going to be shooting new ammunition that I've been shooting a lot lately, which is the 11 gram 680 size Sumo XL ammo by Less Lethal Ballistics. Okay, so we're going to be shooting a magazine of this, of the Sumo ammunition, the 11 gram, with the Long ASA, and I think I'm going to be using 1,000 psi. I'll be using my 1,000 psi output tank. And we're also going to then swap out the ASA for the short Home Defense tuning ASA, okay, which is actually a version 1. It's got the larger holes in the back. So I may introduce a washer or something in the back just to kind of knock down some of that additional volume flow that's going through there, just to ensure a little better operation without auto fire. Don't know that I need to, but I may do that as a precaution. But I'm not only testing the short ASA by itself, but I'm going to test it with this MCS expansion on the back as well, okay? Which I've done before with CO2, I think. Unplugged though, you'll use the same 1,000 psi output as well. This way it'll be comparable. Yeah, and we'll use the same ammunition naturally. We'll use the 11 gram Sumo XLs by Less Lethal Ballistics. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to see, what we get for a difference between the HD24 Long, the HD24 Short, but with the addition of that additional expansion, MCS expansion, since I have it anyways, right? So why not try it out? So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take you along for the ride if you're interested. Okay? If this gets a little long, feel free to fast forward. Okay? Because it probably will be a little long, this video, I'm thinking, since we're going to do a comparison. So, all right. So that's what we're going to do. I'm also testing out two different 011 O-rings, a different type of O-ring in each one of these ASAs as well. I got some new material in and I wanted to put them through the paces as well. So we're going to be testing that out. But that's, both of them hold air. So I just want to see how they're going to perform. But that's not really what we're going for here. I just want to see what kind of, what kind of comparison it is having the short ASA with the expansion that I have as, compared to the long ASA. So we're going to do that. Got my 1,000 psi bottle here. And I think I may actually put the Reaper suppressor on. I think I may unscrew this this RAP4 MP5 RAP4 that I picked up, which is just the cosmetic piece. It does look pretty cool, I think. But I think I may swap it out for the Reaper. Yeah, let's do that. Because I know that's going to give us more feet per second. Because on average, I've been gaining between 10 and 12 joules using the Reaper suppressor, which again, it doesn't suppress any sound, but it does create a situation where you can get some gains, some gains there. So we will put on the 6-inch Reaper suppressor. I got from MCS. And this is an MCS barrel. Okay, so there we go. That's what she looks like there. Just got this adjustable foregrip that I can take on and off. So I got something to hold on to. We got a Solo Fish green laser up here. It's been working out pretty good for me. It's rechargeable. Yeah, it's been working pretty good. So let's go ahead and air it up. This one's got the small holes. I don't think I need the washer in there, but yeah, I don't think I did the last time I used this either, so I think we'll play it by ear. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and spin on. This is a 1000 psi output, 9 CI tank. We're starting off with 3000 psi capacity. And we'll spin it on. Spin it on and air it up. Everything aired up fine earlier. Hopefully nothing has changed since then. But we'll air it up first. Check it for leaks. Okay. All right, with the long ASA, it does kind of bring you out a little far, so it's nice with the smaller tanks because then you're kind of right. This right here is ideal for me. I could be out a little bit further and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I just don't want to be hanging it over my shoulder like an RPG or something, right? So this right here actually feels pretty good right there. All right, let's air her up. Unloaded. Okay. At first I thought I had a leak, but it wasn't a leak. It was, I could hear the air filling in here. I mean, this is, you got your regular chamber in there, and then now you got all this. So it's quite a bit of volume to fill up. So matter of fact, we dropped from 3000 to about 2500 psi capacity just filling that. So we lost some psi for capacity. All right, so it aired up good, no leaks. Let me put my hearing protection on because this one is a little bit loud. And we'll shoot off 6 of these. We'll shoot off 6 of these. What did I say I'm using? Sumo XLs by Less Lethal Ballistics. 11 gram. And they measured in at 680. So turn the laser on. All right. We have the 6 rounds of the Sumos. Okay. They look like right there. Kind of a nice shiny green color. Yeah, like one of the first times that I shot these, I had 2 collide inside the target trap, so one busted open. So there's actually lead in here. That's how they get the weight. There's like lead, just very thick plastic around the lead. So 11 grams, pretty heavy. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are hot. All right, 1000 psi, 11 gram ammunition. Shot 1. I'll just be calling out the feet per second. 475.2 feet per second. Shot 2. 495.2 feet per second. Shot 3. 471.6 feet per second. Shot 4. 479.2 feet per second. I guess I should have probably put that washer in there just to kind of slow down some of that pressure. I don't know if I just blew an O-ring or if it was just auto fire. But I guess we're going to have to take the bottle off and find out. All right. Let's take a look. I don't know if we tossed an O-ring. Now, this was one of my new O-rings that I put on. It was a different material. It was actually a Teflon material that I put on the 011 Teflon. And, oh yeah, we drained this tank right down, so I'm going to have to charge that back up before I can continue. But that's all right. We'll just, the magic of editing will be helpful here. We'll check this out really quick, and then I'll kill it and give me a chance to pump that back up. And we got numbers anyway, so what I might do is just switch to the other ASA, the shorty with the MCS expansion on it. So, which actually we might be able to just do that right now. Maybe I don't need to edit. Well, actually I need to I got to pump the bottle back up because I want to have the same PSI. So unless I use my 1100 tank, which I could do that. All right. So we started off with what sounded like a little auto fire, and then it leaked. So, all right, well, we didn't lose the Teflon 011. So I think it was just some auto fire. You know, with the slide checks, you got a lot of air volume going in there. So could have just been that. So at least I didn't shoot the O-ring out the barrel this time. But anyways, we got some numbers for that. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to put the long aside, and I'm going to install, actually, let me take these off because I'm not going to leave those on. I mean, as loud as that air compressor is, I don't need those for that. So let me take the ammo out of the gun because I think I shot, what did I shoot, 4 or 5? Let's see. And 1 left, so I guess I did shoot 5, so. Oh. Nope, I shot 4. I get 2 left. It was just sitting around in the barrel. Just be careful I don't lose the rest of this bolt and valve assembly here. So what I'm going to do, this is a different O-ring. So this one held up just fine, this Teflon 011. This other one that I'm testing right now in here is a AC automotive O-ring. It's supposed to be CO2 rated. Teflon is definitely CO2 rated, so, and I'm probably going to go with that because they're really durable, and I was able to just stretch it over the pin, so it worked out pretty good there. But this one here, yeah, we're going to try this anyways. Pull the trigger. We're going to get this set up. Take the plug out of this. I had it set up for CO2. We'll take the plug out. I'm going to take this one's definitely got the bigger holes in it because this is a version 1 short tuning ASA. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's the holes. All right, so you can see the size of the holes on that one. And I don't know if you can make it out, but the short version 1's got the 4 holes in there are much bigger, so you're going to get a lot more volume rushing in, especially when you're using a slide check. Okay, so we just got auto fire with this one with the smaller holes, so it's still a lot of volume coming in, probably too much at times. So I'm going to probably start running some restriction in there. I'm going to go back to experimenting with these washers because that does cut down a lot of the kind of clips the airflow. So, and I'm going to actually use it in this one for sure because this one's got the bigger holes. So just simple enough. I'm going to drop it in there. And then I'm going to put the MCS expansion adapter on here. And that's where we're going to leave her while I pump up pump this 1000 PSI bottle back up. So I will be back in a jiffy. All right, we're back. So we got a 1000 PSI output, 9 CI tank pumped back up to capacity, 3000 PSI capacity. This has got the slide check built in, slide check on and off. And we have swapped out at the end of the last segment. I had swapped out the long ASA, tuning ASA, home defense, for the short tuning ASA, but I also added the additional expansion chamber here from MCS. It's this expansion chamber actually came with the MCS Rear ASA that I had purchased quite a few months ago, before I had the home defense stuff. And yeah, it didn't, on its own, it didn't give a big increase. I think it was, I don't know, like 5 or 6 joule increase. But I have it, so I figured why not add it to the expansion we're getting with the short and see what it does. Okay. So hopefully we don't end up with auto fire like we did in the first part of this test here with the long. I did add some restriction in here to kind of cut down, knock down some of the flow, airflow that we know we get from these slide checks. So we'll see if that works. Yeah, all we can do is see if it works. So let's go ahead and we'll spin in the freshly pumped up tank and we'll shoot another 6 rounds. Actually, we only got 4 out of the 6 because I had that auto fire that was pretty severe. So hopefully we get all 6 of these, but even if we don't for some reason, I mean, we should have some numbers to compare it so we can kind of get a sense, you know, if running these two together, if you happen to have them, if it's comparable to the long ASA, and if it's not, how close is it? You know, kind of compare what the feet per second, ultimately the joules are going to be between those, because that's going to be the only difference here, right? Oh, before I forget, like I've been forgetting, although I have updated the videos in the description field, I'm also no longer running my stock 60mm spring, bolt spring. I reintroduced what I'm calling my tuning spring, 50mm by 22 by 1.8 wire thickness. Okay. Been having really good, decent performance out of that. You know, it's not that it's giving me an increase in joules or anything, but it's giving me better consistency, I guess is what you could say. And my factory spring was getting pretty tired. So, and I had stretched it out once already, and I don't know if that lent to it just kind of wearing out quicker. I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I definitely it increased my shot count by getting rid of the factory spring, the tired spring, and putting in that 50mm tuning spring. So just want to let you know that is the other difference. But I was running it on the first segment as well with the long ASA. So the only thing that's going to be different here, same tank, same pressures, 1000 PSI. We're going to use the same ammunition, same Reaper suppressor on the front, which we know does give us an increase in feet per second. Same bolt spring. The only thing that's going to be different is we're not using the long ASA. We're using the short with the MCS expansion. The only other thing that's different is O-rings, but the Teflon stayed on, so that's good. This time we're using a slightly different material, different O-ring, again, just to test it out. I don't know if it's going to fail or not. Some of the shooting that I'm doing here tonight is also to kind of is a trial on these 2 new O-rings, 011 O-rings. Anyways, I probably said more than I needed to, so let me air it up, make sure there's no leaks, because nothing's a given here. We're unloaded. And let's air it up on 1000 PSI. Okay, well, they're holding air, so sounds good, nice and quiet. The only sound that I heard was from the tank filling the chambers in here. Let's put our ears on, and then we'll see how many of these 6 we can get through without a failure. Let's hope. Another round of allergies. So, pardon me if I got to clear my throat a lot. It's allergy season. All right, so we're eared up. Let's turn the laser on. Again, we're using the same 11 gram 680 size Sumo, right? Sumo XL by Less Lethal Ballistics. I got 6 of them loaded up in here. Let's make sure my count was right. All right, same 1000 PSI. Only thing difference is the tuning ASA with the expansion. All right, let me stand back a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to call off the feet per second as I shoot. All right, 11 gram Sumo. Shot 1. .445 feet per second, 445.7, I think it was. All right, guys. I don't want anybody freaking. You guys always leave me comments like, oh my goodness, it's broken. It's the end of the world. I'm testing some new O-rings, okay? And I just dumped that whole tank in one shot. And I don't know if you caught it, but I had... I wish you could have been here, really. All right, I had unbelievable. I had, I think, 3 shots. At least 2 went flying out of this thing. At least 2. All right, so I captured feet per second on one. I think it was like 445.7 or something like that. So at least I got one number I can compare it to the other ones. I thought I did bad with the last test, only getting 4 out of 6. This time I only got 1 out of 6. Because we can't count the follow-up rounds that were chasing that first one, can we? We trained that tank right down to nothing. Yes, boys and girls, that was auto fire and more than likely probably an O-ring failure. All right, what we'll do is we'll take this one apart on the camera so you guys can see it when I see it, right? You can see what the heck it is. All right. All right, let's take a gander in here. What do you think? You think the 011's still there, or you think it's gone? I don't know, let's see. It's gone. And I think this is the first time I've actually shot a 011 out of the short ASA. Usually I don't have that problem. It seems to be, and I know Barry, we were talking about this earlier, I think on Messenger, right? Where we both had the experience of shooting our O-rings out of our gun, but not on the short ASA, on the long ASA. Well, this is a first for me anyways. Now, this was a new O-ring. This was one of those AC automotive O-rings that was on here that I picked up. I wanted to give it a try. It was like 70 Duro or whatever. It was a pretty loosey-goosey O-ring, so I'm not surprised that it went flying. But I figured, you know what, I'm getting desperate. Let me try some different stuff. Why not? It was cheap. Let's try it, right? So when I ordered the Teflon ones, which held up fine, you know, I mean, Teflon's still on there, and it's good and durable, and I know the Teflon's rated for CO2. So, yeah, this one, it's probably in the box, like what happened before with the red ones and with the urethane ones. In this case, I don't think it was the extra airflow. It could have been, though, because I mean, I did have the MCS expansion on here, so that did give us marginally more airflow. It's still probably not as much volume as this long one is, but anyways, I could go on all night about this, and you probably don't want to hear it. So, yeah. So anyway, so I guess those O-rings, yeah, they might be okay on CO2, you know, CO2 on the handle. Or they may even work just fine on the stock back cap and pin, you know, if we're gonna go stock, but I ain't putting the stock back on there. Why am I gonna lose power to run the stock? Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Plus, if I run the stock, I don't have an ASA, so I can't run air in the back. So yeah, but for you guys that are CO2 primarily, or you're trying to keep it as small as possible for concealed carry on the Pistelle, then, you know, maybe the stock back cap and pin is all you want. So those AC green 70 Duro O-rings may be fine. They might work fine for you. I mean, they're cheap. You can get them locally. I think Hopper Freight sells them as well, so they're pretty cheap. I've never used them before. I figured, hey, why not? I wanted to test them. So I tested them, and I probably won't be using them again. So, however, so far so good with the Teflon one. The issue that I had with this, only getting 4 out of the 6 shots, was I had severe auto fire. And I think I could have corrected that, or maybe protected against that if I had added some restriction back here. Again, that's mostly because of the tanks that I'm using right now. The tanks with the slide checks. Unlike a regular pin valve, there's a massive rush of air. So every time that bolt comes back, it's got to fight against, the bolt spring's got to fight against all that available pressure, airflow. So there's been different things talked about. Sean has discussed different ways he's been successful. Tapping the slide check itself and putting in a little plug, little 1/8 plug drilled out in various sizes. He's had success with that. I think 1.6 maybe might have been one of the sizes. Unfortunately, that didn't work in my case because I had one of those slide checks where that 1/8 pipe plug, it just dropped right inside loose. It's got a bigger diameter, so I wasn't able to use that modification. So I figured I'd try the washers. I should have added it to this. I will on another test, but this video is getting lengthy and it's going to take forever to upload it. So I will do that on another test. I did run it in the short. However, it was kind of a moot point because we didn't really have auto fire as much as we had an O-ring launch out of the gun. And when that happens, that O-ring's really holding back the air pressure. So when the O-ring goes, you get this really bad rush of air. And that's why it was carrying another round. You know, that first round that I shot was being chased by 1, maybe 2 other rounds because of the bottle just dumping. At that point, nothing was stopping that bottle unless I was able to degas quick enough, and I didn't. I just let it go because I was just like, holy shit. I was just like, there it goes, right? It's like, it's going. And I was like, whatever. So it's going all at once. So I drained the tank all in one shot. And, you know, because the O-ring let go. So that is it in a nutshell, guys. That is super technical explanation. Yeah. Anyways, this has been fun. Like I said, don't freak out on the comments, guys. You know, it's not the end of the world here. When you modify these guns, you know, you got to expect the reliability is going to be hit and miss. I'm experimenting with different things, different O-rings, trying to get the reliability to an acceptable place. But in the meantime, I'm throwing a lot of power at this thing that it wasn't meant to be doing, you know? So you're going to have these sort of ups and downs, if you would. So, yeah. So, you know, if you want to come along for the ride and watch this craziness that I'm doing, then wonderful. But yeah, don't freak out. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to fix it, you know. And besides, you know, 2 or 3 of the easiest markers in the world to do work to on O-rings is the Pistelle, the Intrabuster 2, Gen 2, and the Beeman BP50. I mean, you know, I mean, you can't get any easier than taking off a back cap or an ASA, and the majority of your O-rings are right there. So it's not difficult stuff. It's not rocket science. The only part that is a challenge, I will give you this, is A, finding the right size O-ring when you start modifying the gun, because this ain't factory, you know, so you got to have the right size O-ring, and you got to have the right size, the right type of material, you know, depending on what are you doing. HBA, high pressure, are you using CO2? You know, there's a lot that goes into this that I'm learning right now, you know, and I don't know it all. I'm never going to know it all, obviously. But as I build this out and I seek to modify these markers and see gains in feet per second, yeah, I'm going to be challenged every once in a while. I'm going to have to come up with and figure this stuff out, because no one's stepping forward saying, hey, I'll figure it out for you. So you got to either figure it out or you quit. And why would you quit when I'm having so much fun? You know, so anyways, I say that because I know I do have some viewers, and maybe they're the ones that kind of click in, click out. They watch a video here and there, and they haven't seen all the different content, you know, and the things that I've been doing. But and some of them are like, oh man, I never want to buy that gun because of all the problems I'm having. And it's like, no, it's not the gun. The problems I'm having is directly because I'm modifying the gun. I'm experimenting with things, trying to get more power out of it. And when you do that, you got to accept the fact that you're going to have failures, you know? And that's how we learn. And you think of life, right? You learn through failures. Anyways, hopefully at some point I start learning a little quicker. That's all, to minimize those failures. But anyways, thanks for watching, and especially thanks for putting up with my long-windedness and my lengthy explanations of stuff, you know. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. So one of the things I do is I kind of talk through it myself. So anyways, hopefully you enjoy what you're listening to, you're watching. And if not, you know, there's a fast forward button, so just skip ahead. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Peace out. See you around.